A recent study shows that 1 out of 10 people listen to podcasts. So if you're listening to this in a room with 9 other people, you have our permission to call them assholes. Thanks. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Whatever with Jason Soto, the comedy podcast that wondered where all the cowboys went, then found them all on Grindr. I am Jason Soto. Hello. We are back. We took a little break, for a couple of reasons. I'm going to get to that. But first I need to introduce who is here. First, as always, Lisa Sally Haynes. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
Welcome back. We are back with another wonderful show.
I was going to say, did I go somewhere this time? I thought I came back.
You came back and then we all left.
Oh, well, see, that's pretty par for the course for me.
So that's what happened. And we have Bear with us here today. Hello, Bear.
Hey.
So I will address the elephant, the very, very large elephant that's in the room. In a bit.
We have a bear and we have somebody wearing cat ears. I see no elephant.
And we have I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I have no idea. Anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. But first, we're gonna do the part that everyone hates for some reason. We're gonna try to get paid. Because no one likes to get paid, apparently. If I do the ads and everyone complains, so I'm just not going to do ads. We're not going to get paid.
Okay.
So nobody...
We get paid?
Nobody go to audibletrial.com/rabbitholepod and nobody sign up for the 30-day trial version. Because if you were to do that, you'd be giving us money, but, we can't have that. So, don't do that. Don't go to audibletrial.com/rabbitholepod and check it out and download any audiobook, original show, or podcast that you want. And, after the 30 days is up, but do not pay the $14.99 a month to get more original shows, podcasts, or audiobooks. And you know what? Despite all that, you do get to keep anything that you've downloaded if you do cancel for whatever reason. But you're not going to do that because you're not going to go to the link. So do not go to audibletrial.com/rabbitholepod. So we don't get paid. So don't do that. You know what you also shouldn't do is you also shouldn't download the RunP app.
RunP.
Thank you. No, actually go ahead and do that because they're cool guys. Go get this app called RunP. It's free to download. How it works is you go to the movies. Say you want to go see the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out this weekend. Actually, you're listening to this on a Monday, this past weekend. And say about 20 minutes in, you have to use the bathroom. That extra large orange Fanta is really kicking your ass. People's poll?
No.
That's all I see.
RunP Sis gave it an A.
Okay, I can't see that part.
RunP Sis liked. It's right here.
I see
RunP Sis gave it an A.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Podcast listeners really, really lost right now.
And there are extra scenes at the end during after the credits. I don't want to do any more, but don't leave when the movie's over.
Yes.
Chris Pratt gets shot. That's my dream.
I mean,
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Not even as a Mario. It's just Chris Pratt himself just comes on the screen and he just gets shot.
Hey, look, I'm still loyal to Bob Hoskins.
So anyway, you download the app. It tells you when's a good time to go use the bathroom, so you don't miss anything important. Because you don't want to miss the part where Mario goes down the pipe and appears, in the whatever land that's called.
In the dungeons.
Dude, I can tell that you play so much Mario.
Well, they never had it. It was just World 1, World 2.
Yeah, but it's the dungeons.
They weren't all dungeons.
They
had outside the little outside parts of the castles.
Yeah, that's boring.
Anyway, you don't want to miss that. So get RunP. You can get it on any kind of phone you got, except for the Windows phone. I meant to ask him about that. Damn it. If only I wasn't distracted by a certain thing that we're going to be talking about later. I could have asked. But anyway, Run P, go check that out. Okay. Hey, Lisa, Bear, I got a question.
What?
What?
Have either of you worked in an office before?
Yes.
I mean,
sort of, yes.
I'd like to remind everyone listening that I'm 20 and in college, but I've been with my mommy to her office.
That doesn't mean anything.
And I went with my mommy to work a lot as a kid.
All right. Well, I had an interesting thing happen to me at my job this week.
Uh-oh.
So just to catch up people, I used to work at Staples when I started this podcast. I got tired of Staples, so then I applied for one office job. And then that office job turned around and fired me 2 months later. And then I was unemployed for 3 months. And then I got a new job at a second office working for the state of Indiana. So that caught up to speed.
As opposed to the state of confusion. Oh! Oh, that's land of confusion.
Wow.
We're on it today. Let's go.
I am tired. And so I've just gotten silly.
Everybody is in a fucking mood today. Okay.
I'm tired.
I've been at this job for about a month, and I've been liking it. It's not bad. I've been mostly in training because it's a very complicated job. There's a lot of shit that I got to do, and learn how to do. So I just been in training. What's funny?
Nothing. I was just thinking.
I haven't even sent what I just located online either, and that was gonna get me giggling.
You know what? That one movie that was like, I feel like it had Morgan Freeman, and it's like, you only use 10% of your brain. Here's Lucy? What happens when you use 100%. I imagine that like monologue playing while you were talking about how complicated your job is and how much training you need.
But yeah, so I've been digging it. Now, my job uses Microsoft Office for everything, like, Word and Microsoft Teams. That's gonna be important to the story, and stuff like that. So, I had to make a new Microsoft account for my job, and when you do that,
did it make one for you?
No, I had to do it.
I figured they would be like a governmental.
They gave basically
system.
I have like access to their Microsoft stuff, so you know what I mean. But
they don't use like Outlook. Like, I'm surprised they wouldn't have given you an email address through Outlook, but you had to create your own.
Well, like I had to like make a password and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so part of this was you could make a profile picture in this Microsoft account, and I can see other people's profile pictures in the office, and they all got various things, like picture of like mostly it's people taking selfies. That's mostly what all the profile pictures have been. But there's other like pictures of their dogs and various other things and flowers and shit like that. So I wanted to have some fun. And you know what? I'm gonna for the YouTube people, I'm gonna demonstrate what my profile picture is. Give me a second. I'm actually gonna make this a surprise.
Oh dear.
Okay, so 1 second. I'm gonna take my headphones off so you guys.
A surprise for who? Anyone who has never listened to this before and has no idea about you and what you prefer.
I edit the show, and I will listen back to it eventually.
Are we muted or something and he doesn't know what I'm saying? Or
so I just said I had my headphones off. What part?
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Anyway, more or less, this was my profile picture.
With the machete?
Kind of.
What the frig is wrong with you?
Okay, well, okay.
No.
But no.
It's a stupider version.
Oh my god!
It's a screen cap of Friday the 13th Part 6 of Jason standing in the forest, But imagine this part, the eyes and the nose and the mouth part. Like, well, maybe, I don't know if it's a mouth, but anyway, imagine all of this, but squished in. So it's just like all the eye holes are very, very, very tiny. There's like not even a nose.
Very professional.
And,
for reference here, it is actually his Facebook profile picture right now.
Yes, but that's not going to help the listener, so I'm trying to describe this.
But you can go to Rabbit Hole Pods on Facebook to join our Rabbit Hole Podcast Facebook group.
And then you will see it, yes. Okay. So anyway, so I use that picture. I use that picture because it's a funny picture. You know, it's a squished in face. I thought it was funny. And so, now I want to also note that I did this like on my third day while I was there. So when this incident happened, this was like a month after I started.
Oh boy.
I get an email, from my HR rep who says, "Hi. So I noticed your profile picture is of Friday the 13th. Can you change that, please?" You may or may not know this about me. I have a tendency to be a smartass. I'm sure this podcast isn't evidence of that. But I read that and I had to stop for a second. Because I had to go, why? Like, to myself. So I'm thinking, how do I handle this? So I'm thinking like, all right. So this is what I responded with. Has I changed the profile picture? I sent the email back and I said, how come? Is it because of copyright infringement? I hit send. Oh, and this happened at the end of the day. So I hit send, close my computer off, and I left.
Moron.
Okay.
You were fired from this one too. What are you doing?
I thought what made this so, didn't one of your managers say that she liked your profile picture? See, that's what I thought was the weird thing. Did she
know what it was?
Yes.
Okay.
So, because on its own, I can see that not being considered a professional thing and them wanting it to be changed, considering you theoretically work with the public, even if you don't write the second. Maintaining a workplace, and also because you feel more connection to people if you see their real face.
Yeah,
yada
also
yada.
Not a bloody serial killer.
Yeah, that too. Who's giving you your food stamps? The murderer. But the fact that your manager was like, "Oh, I like that."
Well, so I want to make clear a few things up because I'm sure people listening might be confused. I explained this to you guys, but just for the listeners. So my job is with the state, and it's a statewide program. So there's a lot of these offices all throughout the state of Indiana. And my training course is with different people that's also scattered around the state of Indiana. So I have learned that it was somebody that was in my training class that complained about it.
Oh.
Because we use Microsoft Teams for our training.
And you upset someone. And
every time I talk or something, the profile picture comes up on the screen. Okay. Now, I want to also note that we also been in training for 2 weeks. So that's the second really weird thing about all this. But I did change the picture because I also realize, as much as I am a smart ass, I also don't like causing trouble. So I'll still be a smart ass and say something smart, but I'm still going to comply. Hang on, I'm going to take this off.
He's a good boy.
And so, so I did all that. And then that's when I found out that this was, no, somebody in your training class complained about it. So what I did today, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. So I did this the day after I got that email. But today we went back into training, and Microsoft is now fucking me over because despite me changing it on my profile, it did not change on Microsoft Teams.
Oops.
And I spent the whole morning trying to get that fucking thing to change, and it would not change. I even went I even went like, did not put a profile picture, just kept my name up there. Nothing. That didn't work. I restarted my computer and nothing worked. And I'm like, fuck. So you know what I did? I emailed the fucking HR person. And I'm like, hey, yo, I changed the profile picture and here's proof. I even took a screenshot on my computer. And I was like, here's my new profile picture. And then in my email, it doesn't have a profile picture. And then on the Teams is my old profile picture. I said, I have 3 different profile pictures on Microsoft right now. And here's evidence. So if some fucker wants to complain, I didn't say fucker, but if some motherfucker wants to complain about me not changing my profile, here's fucking evidence that I did. So shut the fuck up. So anyway.
STFU.
People are too goddamn sensitive these days, I swear to God. But
goddamn snowflakes.
So, okay, you guys, well, Lisa specifically, you said you worked in an office. Did you have anything similar happen to you?
No.
Like any kind of weird office drama or...
No.
You got along with everybody.
So I know. Well, here's the other thing. I've worked in an office kind of sort of twice. When I was a high school student, I worked in like a real estate office as like a secretary, and it wasn't cubes or anything like that. It was a small, like individually owned thing. And I like typed reports and answered the phone. And then, you know, I go to the Department of Ed once a week, and they're in cubes. So I have a cube, but I'm there literally one day a week. So it's like, I'm not really like, I've never fully worked in a like an office setting. So I don't really have any connection to this kind of thing. So I don't have any fun stories or anything like that, except for the fact that when I do go, and I get there in the morning, I have allergy issues. And so like in the morning, I constantly have to blow my nose and honk, and that's how people know I'm there. So oftentimes I get to my cube and I'll blow my nose and it's like, hey, Lisa. It's like, hi. Yes, I'm here. It's just really funny. So
I get what you mean, because one of the reasons I get up egregiously early, I get up at like 4 and take a shower. And one of the reasons for that was because in like middle school, high school, I realized it took like 2-3 hours for my allergy meds to sit in. And in middle school, my school started at 7. So I would take my allergy meds at like 4 in the morning, and then they'd be set in by 7. So then I didn't spend the first 3 hours a day like sounding like I was doing coke.
See, I've learned to own it, and I just don't care anymore. I sound like an 80-year-old man when I blow my nose, and it was like, yeah, I'm done worrying about it because it is what it is, and I need to blow my nose. So
I just felt so gross. I always feel out with allergies, so it's like no.
Would you like
I can't do
demonstrate?
This. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. By all means, please.
Thank Zoom cut it out.
Oh, that's right. Zoom cuts out background noise.
Oh, so this is the most riveting podcast episode, I gotta say. Office drama.
We've been gone too long. That's okay.
Hey, you know what? This is what you gotta do in life.
I was in the hospital. That's like exciting, right?
Yeah.
Not in the like usually when you say something's exciting, you insinuate something positive. I guess it's exciting, but it's a little
I'm alive. Unnerving. Me being alive is like a net positive, I think.
This I agree, yes.
So, it was fun. It was a good time. I got oxygen masked. I got blood tested.
Did the oxygen mask fall from the ceiling?
Yeah, totally. Like an airplane.
Yeah.
Turbulence and everything. The room was shaking.
That's how that works, right?
I was like, damn. Yeah, and then like it was like Grey's Anatomy where they all like were talking like right
hooked
outside
up
my
on
door.
Top of you? Oh.
No, what? No. Like they were all standing right outside my door and they're talking to each other and they're just like, I don't know what we can do. I don't.
Did a guy holding a cane and a drug addiction like just come into you and start giving you shit for no reason and call you names?
No, but I did have a doctor dismiss me from the ER without any tests, telling me I was wearing too tight of clothes, and that's what was causing my chest pain. It was not, listeners. It was an air bubble between my lungs and heart.
Now, when you told me it was an air bubble, you know what I was picturing? The first thing that came to my mind
what
was there's a part in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 where he's underwater, and in order for him to get air, he's got to go to these piles of bubbles that's around, and he has to inhale the bubble. I just pictured that bubble like just inside of your chest, and then
that's kind of what I pictured too. But no, it's just like a big clump of air that they treat by giving you oxygen.
And then
so I got to kind of just work it through.
Yeah, so they gave me air for my air. It was fun. It was a really good 5-day saga of me having chest pain.
You were not in the hospital for 5 days. Let's make that clear.
I was not in the hospital for 5 days. I had chest pain, went to urgent care, ignored the pain, went back to the ER, got dismissed from the ER, went back to the ER, was in the ER, got out, and now I'm back.
And we're very glad to have you back.
Thank you.
I am always glad to have you back and around. You're one of my dearest friends. You're like one of 4 friends that I have in Indianapolis. So
remember when you said you'd pay me $80? Remember the $80 prostitute bit?
Like for something? Or
wait. That was $30.
That's worse. That does not help.
If you're gonna make a callback to a joke, at least be accurate.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Comedy rule number 1. You always gotta be consistent.
I'm sorry. I tried to make how much you're willing to pay a prostitute sound better than it is.
Where are we going with this?
I'm gonna call your dad. Dad Soto. Jason said he's gonna pay.
He will appreciate my frugalness. He will appreciate my frugalness.
$30.
Frugalness.
Say that word again.
How much I'm willing to pay for a prostitute.
Frugalness. I'm kind of enjoying frugalness.
Frugal. It sounds like
frugalness.
It sounds like something from Fraggle Rock.
Oddly enough, this ties into a story that I looked up about office drama. So I'm just gonna relay the story. I'm not gonna read it. So I'm just gonna do it off of give you a sum up, I guess. So the setting is a customer service office of about 10 to 12 people. And most of the people on the team, their ages range from 22 to 24. The person telling the story is 10 years older than that. The only thing that I did not get from the story was if the person telling the story was a man or a woman, because I feel like that would be important to what I'm about to tell you. So basically, the manager here who's telling the story, the manager noticed that all these team members kept walking the hallways and they kept quacking at each other. And they would just go quack, quack. And the manager didn't understand why they were doing this. They were like, the manager was just like, is this a reference to a show? Or maybe it's a video game or, something. Cause they're young people, Bear all the time says random shit to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that is. Constantly doing like Minecraft noises at me, and I'm like lost.
Like that?
Yeah, kinda, yeah. So, in this office building, they have a room dedicated for the printer, and I guess this job requires a lot of printing. So what they do at this office is, if someone needs to go in to print, they lock the door so they don't get interrupted while printing or copying or whatever they're doing. The manager one day needed to go into the copy machine room to make some copies, and it was like 12:30 in the afternoon. The door was locked, and instead of just like letting the locked door be, the manager had the key, so he opened the door, and he found 2 of his employees having sex in the copy room.
Were they quacking?
No, but that does get explained. And apparently this copy room had a couch, so really they're just asking for it.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're gonna have a locked door an excuse for why the door would be locked, and a couch. Yeah, people are gonna go there and fuck. Like what? Like what were you even thinking? Like, but here's so here's where the story takes an interesting turn. The manager just quickly locked the door and left and didn't do or say anything, and said that since then, like every time those two people that he caught fucking or walked by them in the hallway, everything was awkward. But
well, yeah,
the manager didn't do anything because he checked both people were on their lunch.
And what? Therefore, it's okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're on their own time. I mean,
they're on their own time.
All right.
And then C,
they're not getting paid for it.
They're not getting, yeah, exactly. And then C, technically through their policy about that room, the door's locked, you do not interrupt. So really, what was the manager thinking of going into the locked door? Okay. So he says all this. Fast forward like a day later, it's like everyone clocked out and is left. He goes to put some paperwork on some employee's desk, and he finds a sheet of paper or a stack of papers called the Duck Club. And listed on this thing is a point system and places in the office for you to fuck. So doing it in the copy room was 20 points. Doing it on the president's desk was 25 points. That's
such a huge jump, though. Like 20 points for the president's desk should be like 30 at least.
I think it's going off of how risky it is.
Yeah, but president's desk feels because
the car. Fucking in a car is only 10.
See, so like people have fucked on like the porch so my president lives on campus and people have fucked on his porch before. I feel like that would be like a 30-point scenario.
That amuses me for some reason.
God.
That amuses me.
They have a Ring camera. I don't know why you'd risk that. I don't know why you'd risk it in general.
So that means the president of your college saw this and has footage of this somewhere in his house, and that's all I'm just going to say.
I think he got the Ring camera after people kept fucking on his porch.
Well, that doesn't mean that someone tried to do
it, or what? Like,
right? That's not saying that people hadn't tried since he put the Ring camera in, and he's like,
now they have an audience. I mean,
he gets notification. He's like, oh, hang on. Let me get some lotion here.
Gross. No, I know him really well. He's a really nice guy. Gross.
Ew.
His wife is so sweet. We joke that his wife, though, we joke that her name is River because my president's name is Lake, and we say his son is Pond.
I love it.
So, he's discovered that, or the manager. See, this is why I think it's important on if the manager is a guy or a woman, because I want to know the thought process. Discovered that there's a sex club basically happening in this guy's or manager's office, and that everyone's basically fucking each other and they're doing points. Oh, and the quacking is to indicate that you want to have sex with the passing person. So if you walk by and you go quack quack, and the other person walks by and says quack quack, you just made a agreement to fuck somewhere. God. In this office.
Now, wait, was there like, I wonder if there was like one person who like wanted to be in this club, but like
thought this was funny or oh my God.
But no. Wanted to be in the club, but like couldn't get anyone to quack back.
Oh,
that would be sad.
It's just some poor like lonely guy just going by with this mug of coffee like quack quack, and then silence, just dead silence.
Spare quack. No, please.
Oh my God!
Literally just going up to anybody, just quack quack. Come on, quack quack, man, quack quack,
quack man.
Like he pulls out like a paper bag, puts it over his head. It's like quack quack.
That's good.
Everyone is like just fucking else in the office, and this guy's just in the middle going, quack, quack.
He's like the only one in like the actual office area, like in his cubicle, just sitting there, like.
Oh my God, that is
too funny. In my skin.
So I can't imagine being in that kind of a situation.
No.
Wait, what'd the manager do though? Did he say?
So
he quacked at them.
So this so the manager wants to know in the initial post should the manager have done something about this? Should the manager have like put an end to this? Should they have mentioned, about this? Like, what should they do? There was a follow-up.
Oh no.
Well, from whom? Who was conducting the follow-up?
No.
The manager.
There's a follow-up post. The manager wrote a second post about this. So the manager says that
some poor HR guy had to go follow up about this.
Took the advice of the people that he posted this to originally, and went to his manager, to see what was up, and
his manager was in on it too.
Yes.
He had a duck as a profile picture.
He just walks into the office. There's a little rubber duck on a desk. And he's like, "Fuck." So wait, is this slubby guy that we're saying who does not get quacked at, and the manager who's also not in this club, but everybody else that's in this organization?
Yeah, everyone else, like up to the president. The reason the president's desk is only 25 is just because you have to quack at the president.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to knock on the president's door and go, quack?
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 Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so just really quickly, the follow-up, the follow-up's a little boring. It's literally just he went to his manager, asked about it. The manager, I'll say the district manager, didn't know what to make of this. Because all of his years,
why.
All of his years of management training has not prepared him for this, and they basically just had like an office-wide meeting. Like, if there's any extracurricular activities happening in the office, it's gonna have to put an end to it. Do this not here, and that's all we're gonna say about it. And that's basically where that ended.
That's all I got to say
way
about
that shut down that club, though.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely sure. No way. They just raised the point values.
Totally.
But
totally.
While I was looking that up, I saw something else, and I want to see if you guys knew this. So there was that joke about, not a joke, but like we referenced pineapple. Like pineapple's a sign of swinging.
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke about that earlier.
Did you also know that they put loofah sponges on cars to indicate that?
Yes. As well? Because there's
didn't
also
know about the loofahs.
It's like Girl Scouts or something do something with loofah sponges, and they had to stop doing it because, like, swingers were also doing it.
Because, like, it was, I
but they do it on road trips.
I could look this up, but like, apparently the colors mean something too.
Yeah, I don't know the color.
Yeah, the
meanings.
colors
I'm not
are
that
different
deep
things.
into
Yes, that I knew was a thing. I don't know what any of them are.
So that's interesting as well. Like, if you see a loofah tied to a car somewhere. Yeah, might want to be careful what you say around.
Hey, no, maybe I will add a loofah to my car when I see their loofah in loofah solidarity. Like, you don't know what I get up to.
Wait. Is it an actual, like, natural loofah, or is it those little poofs?
It's little poofs.
It's a little poofs that
I didn't realize that.
that you use in the shower.
I pictured the natural loofahs. I didn't picture the poofs.
No, like the little colorful.
Oh my god!
Poofs.
And there are lots of colors of poofs. Now I understand.
So, but wait,
little behind here.
I feel like swinging is such like an older person term.
Listen.
Like people my age would just say that they're like poly or in open relationships, but like swinging is like, I don't know. I feel like if I heard a 20-year-old say I'm a swinger, I'd assume they were a Mormon.
I always do associate.
There's a huge crossover between swingers and Mormons.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
I always associate the term swinging with like 70s anyway. And maybe a little bit of the 80s.
Too wild and crazy, guys.
I associate it with those one commercials that ended up using swingers as like the punchline, the Sling TV.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where they make the swingers.
That's actually pretty clever.
Honestly, not to age myself, but that's kind of where I learned the term.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Old.
But yeah, I don't hear that term anymore. Swingers, you're right.
That could be.
I'm guessing.
There's
Even
a
adults,
lot of them on TikTok.
But like, do adults nowadays do it, or is it because it's more?
Yes,
no.
Yeah.
My question is,
they have light neighborhood.
My
things.
question is, instead of it being like this weird hidden thing, is it now more open?
Yes.
Because people like you said, Bear, everything's poly now, and it's like, hey, it don't matter, and you know what I mean. So it's not like all these swingers who had to like hide what they were doing in the 70s and 80s. They can now come out and be like, yeah, my wife's right there. Let's go fuck in the copy room of my office.
Pretty much. Yes.
Yeah. No, they have basically like homeowners associations of swingers.
Where they get really anal about the grass on your vagina?
Literally anal about the grass.
On your vagina.
I can't even imagine what that. You could have just left it at anal on the grass and it would have been funny.
No, but I had to make a hairy vagina joke because this is my podcast and this is the kind of show it is.
Anyway.
Hairy vaginas, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna stage a military coup.
Not you,
Lisa,
too.
Yes. Can you join me in my military coup?
Hey,
totally.
Hey, I already had this happen once that I'm about to get to.
Quack?
Barry, you got to quack back, or otherwise Lisa's gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna feel bad. All right, thank you.
Lisa's gonna stand in the middle, going quack.
Your screen like slowly shifts to like a black and white grayscale, and it's like Mad World starts playing in the background.
Because you didn't quack back. Good job, Bear.
Silence, my old friend. Yes.
Good job.
Darkness. God damn it! I can't get song lyrics right today. What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
I'm still fond of State of Confusion. That's your title, by the way. State of Confusion.
Yeah, that should be. All right. Well, you know what? Actually, good segue.
Subtitle for this podcast.
Speaking of music,
it's
time for the mixtape.
Yay!
Yes, it is time for the mixtape. If you're new to this show, hi. Yes, we talk about sex in the show a lot.
Not a lot. You talk about it a lot.
Yeah, you.
This is an NC-17 rated show. I'm about to take my clothes off in a second here. But
please don't.
I don't want to do that. Do I have to do that?
But we also talk about music because those two things are conclusive.
Well, I mean, we did have an episode about music's played during sex, and
this is the real lyrical innuendo.
Oh, Lord.
This is a real lyrical innuendo. Anyway, I'm making a giant mixtape on Spotify. Every episode, we come up with a new song. Today is Lisa's turn for a mixtape song. So, Lisa, what do you got for me?
Today may be the last time you ever allow me to put a song on the mixtape because I couldn't come up with something. So I just kind of sat for a minute, and the song that's been stuck in my head, I decided to put on the mixtape.
Is it Simon and Garfunkel? Silent?
No, it's a song by a band called Leo, L-I-O. And the song is called Le Banana Split, like L-E, Banana Split. And when you hear it, you'll know what it's from.
Okay.
My apologies.
Something about the name of the band sounds familiar, but
I don't know.
I will check that out during
See, I could never just do the song that's stuck in my head because we get a lot of VeggieTales songs.
I don't typically have that problem.
All right, cool.
It is Easter this weekend, so I mean, I guess we could get a religious VeggieTales thing.
Yeah, yesterday was Easter. Hope everyone had a good Easter yesterday. I like
10 days after I turned 8.
I like confusing Lisa and Bear because they forget that this is going on a Monday.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my song, we're going back to the 80s, speaking of.
Ooh.
When everyone was swinging.
We're old.
Everyone was swinging. Everyone was probably swinging to this song, actually. It was a bunch of married couples having sex with other married couples while this song was probably playing on the radio.
Is this Pour Some Sugar on Me?
No, they're not stripping. They're just having sex. Actually, this would be the weirdest song to have sex to. I'm just going to say.
Is it weirder than that other one?
When I tell you the band name, you're going to be like, I don't think I can ever have sex to this band. Because the band's going to be The Cure.
This will be some sad sex is what it's going to be.
It's just sad emo sex. It's just eyeliner getting smeared everywhere. My song though is called "In Between Days." Okay. I for whatever reason, I just let my Spotify go the other day, and after it played my playlist, it just went nuts and went crazy, and it went into The Cure, which I'm fine with. I like The Cure.
Good music.
I like. Wow, holy shit. I am not talking to Lisa for the rest of this episode. It started playing.
I have very similar music taste, so I'm taking shots at myself too there.
I know, I was just kidding. But it started playing The Cure and it played this song. And it's one of those songs that like I knew it was The Cure, but I never knew what it was called because I always just heard it in things or like in movies or it just popped up on the radio and I never really knew what it was called. And then when it came up, I looked at my Spotify and it was called In Between Days. And when, you hear it, you probably be like, oh, it's that song.
Yeah.
And I do like The Cure. I'm not, I don't know if I made that sound like I didn't like them. I do like a lot of their songs.
Nope, Jason hates them. He's just trying to do damage control.
But I do enjoy actually I put The Cure in one of my books actually, so not the bank, never mind, that was confusing. Anyway, that's my song.
Do you smell burnt toast?
Actually, yeah.
Why were you dabbing? If you dab while you have a stroke.
Is that part of the things that you have to check?
Yeah, dabbing. It's part of that acronym, the FAST.
Thank you. I couldn't even see that.
Yeah.
I don't have a stroke near me because I can't remember what the acronym is.
This is one of those times where like when people pretend to die in front of a dog, they see what the dog does. I'm gonna die in front of these two and see what they do.
We're just gonna keep on going. Yeah, we're just gonna keep talking. I mean, we're just gonna keep on going.
All right, wait a minute. While my corpse rots here,
we don't have to smell it.
We're gonna play those songs on the podcast. On YouTube, I had to skip it unfortunately.
Again, my apologies.
But you can pause the video, go look up those songs, and then come back. Because when we come back, we're gonna talk about the Rob incident. Stay tuned. What was it about the 90s that made movies so much better? How much of an impact did they make during that decade? And while we're at it, can we throw around some 90s slang? Join me, Jason Soto, a lover of all things 90s, as I do a deep dive into cinema from the best era ever. Rabbit Hole Podcast present That's the Bomb, Yo! 90 hella rad movies from the 90s. You can find this show on Anchor, Apple, Google, anywhere you get podcasts from, or its home location at rabbitholepodcasts.com. And who knows, maybe even Alicia Silverstone will finally accept my date.
That's it.
Okay, we are back. Before I begin this segment, I do want to say we have a Patreon, patreon.com/rabbitholepods. $3 a month is going to give you early access to everything we do and some bonus content that we record of this show. And this week's bonus content on Patreon is I am going to show Bear and Lisa some videos, but pause them and see if they can guess how the video ends. So go to patreon.com/rabbitholepods. You can check that out.
Spoiler alert, they can.
Isn't that a bit on America's Funniest Home Videos?
I think it is. Or Ridiculousness.
I know that. Oh, they do it on Ridiculousness. That's true. I love that show. It's guilty pleasure.
So not old.
All right.
I don't watch that show because the blonde drives me nuts. Her stupid laugh.
I love Chanel. My mom and I love her.
No, she's an idiot. I can't do it. I only have my tolerance for vapidness. No.
I like her. I think she's silly. Anyway, Jason.
It's all right. I ask for this sometimes. Okay, so listeners and watchers on YouTube, first off, hi. Secondly, you may have noticed we're missing a person. Lisa's dying.
Just saw something online that's killing me.
And
my timing isn't good. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so yes, we're missing somebody. We're missing Rob. Rob, who was a co-host of the show, is not here, and he is no longer going to be part of this show or any other Rabbit Hole podcast show. He has been removed, and I had to make the decision if I want to talk about why. And I decided to go ahead and do that just because I hate when other shows, whether it's a TV show or like a reality show or it's a YouTube show that I watch, somebody just is suddenly not there and then nobody ever explains why they're not there no more. And I like to be transparent with my audience. I like to let people know what's going on, fill them in, kind of, a little peek behind the curtain. First, so this story of why Rob is gone, there's a few things that, caused this. This is going to be the main reason. There's two other reasons I'll get to at the end. But the main reason involved the last episode we did, which was the Run P episode. We had Dan from Run P on. And you, Lisa, Bear, you were there. You guys were there for that. That was a pretty cool episode, right? Dan was really cool. And Cocaine Bear was there as well, actually.
Yeah, how could you forget? What the hell?
Cocaine Bear was probably the highlight of that episode, honestly. So, but it was a fun show. Now, a few weeks prior to recording that, Dan reached out to me on Twitter and says, "Hey, me and my sister Christine, we want to come on your show because we heard your ads for our app and we think they're funny and we want to talk movies with you and Lisa." No, he didn't say Rob, but okay. But that's another story. He did.
Know that.
He did just say with you and Lisa. Of course, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Please come on. We'd love to have you guys on. And then I immediately messaged Lisa and Rob, and I said, hey, the Run P people want to come on the show. So we set the date up. We figured out all of our schedules, got the date going. And because of this, I wanted to make this a special show. Now, I normally don't do this for this podcast because this podcast is all wild and loose anyway. But for this episode, I wrote a script because I wanted, the Run P ad to be very professional and done right. And, I didn't want to risk, the whole improv part of that. I wanted it to be kind of funny and planned out and stuff. So I wrote this script and I sent it to Rob and Lisa. And then I had an idea for a bit that involved Bear, and Bear was going to jump in at the end of the episode to be Cocaine Bear. And so they were in on all this as well. And so I sent the script, and I sent the script the day before we did the recording. And if you recall the ad, to anyone who will listen to that show, there was a part where Bear's character died because their bladder exploded. Oddly enough, almost came true to life, but not quite the bladder. Just go up a little bit in the body, but
just go to the lungs.
The lungs.
So Rob read this and he took great offense to dying in this script, and he got mad at us. Mainly me, but he took it out on Lisa and Bear for whatever reason. And the day of the recording, we saw he was upset. We asked him why, and he said, he was mad about dying in the script. He didn't get why he's always the one getting picked on, all this stuff, and then he left the call. So me being Mr. Manager, Mr. Host of the podcast, I had to go, my brain went to overtime and I went into damage control, and I'm like, okay, well, Bear, you're going to be the co-host. I'm going to give you Rob's lines. We had to rewrite the script a little bit to make it more for you. And then you and Lisa actually did some good improv on well. You kind of added your own flair to it. So it all worked out. And I have to say, Dan really liked the show.
Dan's good people.
He did. He liked the little sketch that we did. So what I'm leaving out here, and we're going to get into, everyone's listening like, why is that bad? What's wrong? So one thing he did was when he found out that Dan's sister Christine was coming on, Rob immediately started like saying some really inappropriate like things about her. Like talking about like, oh, I'm going to try to bed her. I'm going to like hit on her. I'm going to see if I can, make her my future wife. Like he's saying all these things in our chat. And, I've known Rob for like a couple of years, and that's just kind of how he is a little bit. So I kind of just brushed it off at first. And Bear, you've hung out with him as well in person.
Yeah.
He in person, he's kind of a different guy.
Yeah.
But he still makes like the sex jokes every now and then. Like he'll make like sexual references. So we're just like, that's just Rob being Rob, whatever. But then throughout the whole week, it was just getting worse and worse. And then I get an email from Dan saying, hey, my sister Christine's not gonna be able to make it. She had a family emergency, so it's just gonna be him. And so I'm like, all right, fine. So we did the show. 2 days after we did that show, Rob calls me because he's still upset at me, and he kind of confronts me, and he's like, he always felt like he was getting picked on. He says he always like doesn't like being the butt of the joke. He didn't like the script. He took issues with everything about it, and he didn't like that I called him creepy because I said what he was doing, talking about the sister, Dan's sister, was creepy. So he took issues with that. Okay. So, then Rob tells me a secret. He's like, well, guess what I did? All on my own, Rob says. I emailed Dan a few days prior to the recording, and I asked him and Christine's permission if I could hit on her during the entire episode of the podcast, because I want to get back at Jason for calling me an incel. Now,
did he want to like embarrass all of us, or was it just he was targeting you?
It seemed to be just me.
Okay.
I think his idea was if he goofed it with like on Jason's show, it would be bad for Jason. Because I think he thought you would go along with it, and I don't think he expected me to be there because the Cocaine Bear bit was a secret up until the day of recording.
Some months ago, I don't remember how long this was now, I did a bit where I was Trump, and I called Rob an incel, I called Lisa a broad, and I called myself a loser. Actually, I didn't even name the episode that, the incel, the broad, and the loser.
I am pretty broad, so.
So this is kind of what set him off, apparently. And he even said this to Dan. He says he called me an incel on the show, and I didn't take too kindly to that. So I want to get back at him, and I want to troll him, and I want to make him very uncomfortable by hitting on your sister. And so I need you guys' permission, to do this. And apparently he had this whole like plan to do this with them. And when I found this out, I was furious. Like, I can't even begin to describe how like angry I was.
I remember you texting me.
I was so mad. And that right there, I think is enough to just like kick him off the show. Cause I mean, he went behind my back. He tried to pull this stunt to like make me look bad, make the show look bad. Cause I get it. This is the show in itself. We just talked about like sex in an office for like 20 minutes. Yeah, it's not the most high class show on the face of the planet. I am well aware of it. It's almost by design, in fact. I make this very loose and open and like to have fun.
Just like something else that's loose and open.
That's what she said.
Giggity. Hang on.
I can't.
Okay. But I still want to maintain some kind of professionalism when I have a guest on. And I wanted to impress Dan because, we talk about his app all the time on our show.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to be like, what the fuck kind of nut house is talking about my app every week on the show? Like, is this the kind of operation?
That's like, please never talk about us again.
Exactly.
We don't want to be associated.
Right. I didn't want to look
This is an
bad.
app that you and I legitimately use.
Yes.
And I've used this app for years.
Yes.
Like, no bullshit. I've been using this app for a long time. I use it every time. So I don't want to piss off the guy who creates it. Like, he's a really cool guy. And
he ended up being like this super nice guy. Yes. So this made everything like 10 times worse. Yep. So I'm trying to maintain some kind of professionalism. So now I'm like super angry at him. And so that was the point where I had to kick him off. I had to kick him off, not only whatever. But then he goes back at me and he's like, well, I don't want to do any podcast then. I don't want to be part of Rabbit Hole. So then I say, fine, done. I kick him off of all the shows that he was on Rabbit Hole podcast. He did try to backtrack. Like, I could tell that was like a tactic. Be like, oh, if I say this, he's going to like come crawling to me and, beg me to like stay or whatever. And he did not expect me to actually kick him off the network, I think. But no, I did. And then what makes it worse was I communicated to Dan because once I found this out, I had to message him and I had to be like, I just found out what happened with Rob. And I just want to know he's no longer part of the network, no longer part of the show. And I had to profusely apologize for all of that. And I had to say, tell Christine that I am so sorry. Because here's the thing. When she said that she wasn't going to do the show, she said it was a family emergency. I have a theory, and I think all of you guys agree with, like everybody, like not just you two, but everyone in Rabbit Hole agree with me that she just didn't want to come on the show because of Rob.
I mean, it could very well be.
I mean, it very well could be. Sure. I mean, I don't know for 100% certain. It very well could have been a family emergency, but I just got this feeling, like deep inside of me, that she just did not want to be a part of this and just said, "Oh, I got to do a family thing. I'm so sorry, I can't be there."
I mean, you know what?
But I don't know. I don't know.
You're right. Every right.
But I don't know. And if she could have had a family emergency and she could reach out to me and tell me, she did, and that's fine. Or she could reach out to me and tell me, yeah, she was uncomfortable with Rob, and I would not blame her either way.
Right.
So Dan sent me the emails that Rob sent to him. And yeah, there was this whole like thing that they talked about leading up to the recording where he was going to get back at me for calling him an incel and he felt insulted and he just was going to do all this stuff. So that in itself is just enough, like right there. So that's why Rob is no longer part of the show. But then, and it was suggested by my legal counsel that I should mention this part as well. Another reason why we also had to boot him off the network was because he said some unsavory things about trans people. And if you're keeping track at home, there's a trans person on the network who's right here on this very show.
And there's 3 of us overall on the network.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And
I'm just the most open.
This is true. So, that's certainly not going to stand. I'm not going to stand for any kind of intolerance of trans people. They're my friends.
I do. I don't like trans people personally.
I'm not falling for that trap. So he said a bunch of really I'm not going to get into details of what he said. That I just want to stress that he did say some terrible things about trans people. And then he also said some pretty racist things too. And I'm also not going to get into that as well, but he also went on a little racist tirade with me that I also did not approve of. And so all of those things combined is why Rob is no longer part of this podcast and this network. I will say this, as much as we had a very bad argument and then I just hung up on him, and we may not like each other anymore, I do wish him luck in his life. To get minorly serious for a second, he does have some mental health issues that he's admitted to a lot of us. And if you follow him on Facebook, you will see this as well. And I really sincerely hope he gets help that he needs. And I hope somewhere down the road he gets better from all this. And I want him to be successful in life. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I just felt like I had to separate myself from him, had to separate him from the network. I wanted to protect my friends because everyone that's on this network, they're my friends.
Yeah.
And, if he's going to be all hateful towards trans people, towards people of color, I am not going to tolerate that from anybody.
Right.
If anyone else in the network goes crazy and starts spewing shit like this, I'm kicking them off too. I don't care who you are. I don't care if we've been friends for 20 plus years. You're going to start saying trans people suck and black people can go to hell. I'm going to kick you off the network because I don't tolerate that at all. No. So that's that. That's it. Yeah. I don't know if do you guys have anything to add to that? That's I just wanted to give what happened.
No, I think you've covered it. I mean, the bottom line is that intolerance has no place on this network. Period.
Indeed.
No joking about it. That's it's just no.
Exactly.
And if you're saying things intentionally meant to hurt people, and if you're doing things to intentionally hurt in any capacity anyone on this network, you're going to have to contend with all of us, and it's just not okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one who put together all of our about diversity statements and stuff, and it's obviously I'm trans, but Rob and I were good enough friends that I have a key to his house, so it is a little disconcerting because it's oh well, son of a bitch,
Yeah.
But it was kind of I could see it because I can tell I'm old enough now that I can tell when people are kind of maybe not explicitly anti-trans at first, but start moving that direction, and I could see it coming. So,
yep.
And I expressed this to my close friends, outside of the network of don't quote me.
Yeah, I get you. So, all right. Well, like I said, I want to be transparent to my listeners. Transparent.
I see what you did there. Jason's going to be a transparent to all of the listeners.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
If you need parents, we're your parents now.
Indeed, yes. There's a thing that goes on the internet that says if you're out and your parents or anyone in your family do not understand you, you can come to us, and that is 100% true. All of us here are very understanding.
And I don't want kids, but I'll take you one.
Yeah, I don't want kids either, but I will gladly.
I'll be your mom.
I'll gladly help in any way I can. I will be your older brother. I will say that.
I was like, I love children, but I'm 20, so I don't.
I'll be a cool aunt.
Pretty please. I'll be a nice cousin.
I'll be your older brother. I'll be your older brother that buys you cigarettes. How about that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. That's what's up. That's why Rob is no longer part of any Rabbit Hole podcast show. We actually have started replacing him on certain shows. Some have recorded already, some have not recorded yet. As for this, we have not officially replaced him yet. It's most likely going to be Bear. Bear has expressed interest, but I also worry because they're a college student and they already tell me how hectic their schedule already is. So trying to fit in 2 hours of sex dick jokes, I don't know how they're going to do that, but
hey, I'm doing it now.
I mean, we'll figure it out.
It'll be one of those, we'll see what happens. So that's that. Yeah, so that's it. And that's gonna do it for the show. Yeah. Sorry to end on such a weird, serious note, but the shit happens. What are you gonna do?
You can always go back and listen to the stupid song I put on the playlist, so that'll help change your mood. You're welcome.
So, I do want to thank Bear for stepping in.
Thank you, Bear.
Temporary co-host.
I don't mind.
Until we make it permanent, we figure it out. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Lisa. I gotta thank Lisa for just being cool.
Thank you. I try. I was never cool.
I appreciate you. I just want to say I appreciate both of you.
Probably don't remember.
Thanks.
Me. I'm singing Ben Folds 5 now.
All right, let's wrap up the show. Whatever with Jason Soto is hosted by me, Jason Soto, and Lisa Sally Haynes, and temporarily Bear. I can be found on Twitter at Famous Comedian, on Instagram at I'm_Famous Comedian, or you can email the show at whateverjasonsoto@gmail.com. You can go check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/Rabbit Hole Pod. This is going on Monday. In about 2 days from you listening to this at home, there will be an announcement. And I'm just announcing the announcement. Also, go follow Rabbit Hole Podcasts on Twitter. And it's yours. How did that work?
Hey.
Follow Rabbit Hole
Podcasts.
I'll let you figure that out. Rabbit Hole Podcast on Twitter at RabbitHP. And also, you can go to rabbitholepodcast.com and check out every other show that is on there. A lot of great stuff to check out. A lot of cool shows. A lot of different things. No matter what you're into, there's something there for you. So go check it out. rabbitholepodcast.com. You can find this stupid show on Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, or if you go, Alexa, play whatever with Jason Soto podcast. It will play the latest episode of Whatever with Jason Soto. So go check that out. The mixtape intro song was made by our friend Lackey.
Lackey!
Lackey. He's going to be...
Lackey, who's going to run the entire thank you section.
He's going to be a rap
Lackey
producer.
Presents Whatever with Lackey.
He's gonna
produced by Lackey, songs by Lackey, everything in the world by Lackey.
So thank
Lackey
you,
awesome.
Thank you, Lackey. Lackey is indeed amazing. Thank you so much.
Lackey's the bestest.
The beginning and ending song is Liam Lynch's United States of Whatever from the album Fake Songs, and I do recommend that album. Actually, I know we only play that song, and you may only know that song. But if you buy that album, there's actually a lot of other interesting songs because the reason why the album is called Fake Songs is because he mimics other bands and musicians and does songs in their style. For example, there's a song that he does that sounds like Bjork, or there's a song that he does that sounds like the Talking Heads.
Man, it's too bad there isn't a section where you can recommend songs in the middle of the show.
I know, right? Anyway, go check that album out.
Well.
Okay, well, let's do this. I mentioned Patreon. I want to thank all of our awesome Patreon members. Chris R from AfterCredits.com. Thank you so much, Chris R.
Thank you, Chris R.
The Vern. Thank you so much, the Vern. The almost about to be home silent partner.
The amazing homecoming. So much,
silent partner.
Silent partner's my favorite.
Hope to see you by the end of the month, I think. Nimrod Forrest, thank you so much, Nimrod
Forrest.
Such a
cool name.
Carl, thank you so much, Carl. I do want to wish Carl, luck. He has a heart thing going on right now. He was gonna host Jeopardy that we're doing on Twitch in a couple of weeks. But he had some weird heart issues that he has to figure out, and he wanted to kind of take a break from everything and didn't want to do anything. So he wrote a Jeopardy game that we're going to be doing on Twitch in about a week or so. And Bear is actually going to be hosting the show. But the questions are going to be written by Carl. So Carl, please get better. We all like you. You're a cool guy. We like when you show up.
Sending love to Carl.
So Carl, please get better. Richard Kirkham, thank you so much, Richard Kirkham. You are amazing.
Love Richard.
Hey, Bear, thank you so much for being a Patreon.
Yeah, it's no problem.
You're free to take your money back.
Yeah, you're free on the show.
No, because when I text you and I go, man, I'm really broke. Could I have $10? It makes me feel less bad knowing it's really my $10 that I just need.
Can I get my money back, please? I need
a refund.
Sherry Coons, thank you so much to Sherry Coons. Brenda, thank you so much to Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Sherry, too. I was distracted. Sorry. Brand
new Patreon member. So I want to stress when I say the name that I do not tell people on Rabbit Hole, the network, to become a Patreon member. I even say you don't have to at all. It's because it's weird. Because we already got Vern on, we got Bear, we got Brenda, and now added to the list, Lackey?
Lackey's giving us money to be on the podcast.
Lackey is giving us Patreon money, so thank you, Lackey. Welcome.
People in this network have a lot of money lying around that they don't know what to do with, clearly.
And they just give it to me for whatever reason. I appreciate it. I super appreciate it. I am being dead serious. Thank you guys so much for the love.
We're good people here.
I'm very happy. But you do not have to do that. Just so you know.
Yeah, I'm giving you nothing.
If you are not part of Rabbit Hole Podcast, you can go to patreon.com/rabbitholepods. $3 a month.
You can give us money.
$3 a month. You get access to all kinds of cool bonus content. You get to hear episodes early. And there's all kinds of only Patreon stuff that you can find. It's like at least 2 years worth of stuff just in there. So go check that out. $3 gets you in, man. $3. Strip clubs don't even cost $3 to get in. So there you go. We're cheaper than a strip club. Put that on a blanket. Everybody, thank you all very much for listening. I do appreciate my listeners. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone is okay. And thanks for listening. Wash your goddamn hands and keep your head in the clouds and your feet in the mud. Adios. Copyright 2023 Rabbit Hole Podcasts, rabbitholepodcasts.com.